I'm singing you a blues song, for the distance is far too long. I'm singing you a blues song, for the distance is far too long. If angels truly take flight, let your wings carry you to my arms. This is for you. The Love Jones soundtrack doesn't do our conversations poetic justice. So I write this to a cappella thought processes and crickets in the basement. The sound of empty floorboards in the hallway. The racket of fingertips caressing keypads. Darling, I write this to the sound of us. To the sound of Sunday, slowly creeping into Monday morn with cheap Merlot playing in the background of our breaths, tongues banging cymbals in the roof of each other's mouths. We are the brassy exhale of the saxophone, swirling through windpipes and exploding into that. Yeah, that moment that can't be captured, can't be caught in lyrical form. We are more than just trombone riffs littering ear canals. We are full-length symphonies seated, washing up on the beach of your belly, lower. I'm a finely lubricated memory, squeezing deep into your psyche, reminding you that when our lips are locked, the time between sunset and sunrise is equivalent to the time between 0 and 1, between thought and action, between like and love, between life and breath's last lingering fling with lungs. I'm singing you a blues song, for the distance is far too long. See, strings don't vibrate like vocal cords do. Snares don't connect like fingertips do. Instruments don't mesh like bodies do. The pitches just don't match. The connection isn't there in a shrink-wrapped love song medley. I'm singing you a blues song, because reds and oranges are represented in our fires. Purple lies in our sheets. Green grows from our fertile ground, but blue is that jilted lover pacing when the distance is far too long. For a physical moment, a download of intimacy, this kiss. This is the sight of an angel's flight. We are that harp song. This is for you. Oh! Yeah.
Inevitably, each road ends with your back vanishing into nightfall. Your new smile is a machete's bend, flashed at men who unlawfully search your face. They request your teeth and are obliged. A rouge grin across their jugulars as a keepsake. A heaven's fill of women, sistered by a range of kinked hair, packed all the sunlight betwixt their skin. It began a rapture on foot. Left the men with our lives as something to remember them by. Walked hand in hand, their fledgling daughters holstered on their hips. Every umi offered a grown child's back as a chariot. The infants stowed away inside plush bellies to be delivered, not into this world, but from all of its evil. I watched you all at the edge of the river speaking mermaid to the ones that grew gills waiting at the bottom to be found. Your surnames lifted like a curse. Never again to be caged in a word, how Adam did the birds and beasts. When he sentenced one to a name, and it became all they could ever be, and I longed to go with, but I've been compromised. Troubled with virus, a silent pain, which often proves my love is nothing more than the liking men take to how fatherly we sound. Saying a woman's name makes us water our flowers with spit. I have yet to cure myself of the ways I am told against you, have yet to perfect my wade against the tide that rose up on me the moment I took my first sip of white hair. The moment a chromosome filled the silence between my legs and doomed my every embrace. Perhaps if I were not of such a peculiar make, with my manifold of conveniences, forgotten at the thought of my skin-assigned griefs, perhaps we'd be a miracle. Perhaps when the world sunk its hooks in me, I'd bite down on someone besides you to avert my pain. And maybe there'd be no more days where I mistake my heart for a polyp, where in my attempts to adorn your neck, I reach out for a set of pearls, only to draw back the same old yoke, the same old turn of phrase, which is often a turn of blade when I inquire as to why you always in your feelings. And you reply, it is the only place I truly feel safe.
Well, I had not worked with Dwayne and Rashid before, but I was very excited to work with them when I had viewed their submissions online. I thought Dwayne's Angels Blues song really spoke to me with all of the musical context. I thought we could work really well together and collaborate on sort of a musical wavelength. And with Rashid, I was able to hear where we could connect in sort of in more emotional terms, maybe more cinematic terms, just in terms of thinking about how the musicality might play out. So I was extremely excited to work with both of these guys, and it's turned out to be a wonderful collaboration.
Yeah, I'll say I was absolutely overjoyed when I saw that I got two of my favorite folks. I hadn't worked with Noah before, but when I heard the music, I immediately thought, oh, this will work right with a lot of my different pieces. And so I'm excited to continue the collaboration in the future. And Rashid, like, what needs to be said? Like, Rashid is one of my favorite poets, period. And I have the pleasure of personally knowing him. So this is a collaboration that I've dreamed of.
Yeah, I think my sentiments are similar. I was not familiar with Noah's work before now, but just listening to it, it was clear that, you know, Noah had such a broad range of what he could do musically. And I just thought that would mesh well with almost any and everything I could think of, so I was excited about that. And with Dwayne, while we haven't worked together, I think officially, we go back years, maybe decades now. And so, you know, we're familiar with one another's work and sensibilities, you know, and just all around friends. So I was excited when I was able to get both of them on the collaboration.
So I'll start off. Shout out to Zoom. Noah set up a Zoom room, and we got in and just kind of threw poems and vibes and ideas all at the screen to see what would work and what would make sense. And the way I ended up choosing Angel's Blue Song is because that was the gel. There's a sense of like hope and hopelessness within the piece. And I feel like we got that jazzy blues club sort of vibe right honed together. And Noah definitely speaks in that language with his music.
Yeah, I'll just echo what Dwayne was mentioning. You know, I think I wasn't entirely sure what this might look like, although I was excited about the possibilities. And I think that first Zoom call really gave us a chance to consider the sort of, I guess, narrative and musical arc of what we were contemplating. And while these two poems are very different, Dwayne, I think, spoke very eloquently in the Zoom chat about how they came together and why they made sense together. And I think that for me was the sort of stamp of approval. That was sort of like, this makes a whole lot of sense. We should go in this direction.
Yeah, just echoing their sentiments as well. Us being able to come together beforehand, it just really made a difference for us to kind of flesh out what we wanted and what we didn't want. I came in open-minded, you know, ready to be flexible, of course, but it turned out well that I didn't have, you know, there wasn't much flexibility that we even needed, because it just so happened that what all three of us provided kind of just gelled together in an organic way. So for me, I have been trying to tap into my work to add more of a musical element to it. And Noah really, thank you for that, really just opened my eye to a lot of possibility with what I could do. Not even just with collaboration and, you know, like reaching out to a musician, but just what I could do with my voice. And Dwayne has helped with that, obviously, as well, because Dwayne already has somewhat of a musicality to a lot of his pieces. And so mine are normally more narrative than not, but I am interested in branching out and seeing how I can incorporate music in a more just foregrounded way.
Yeah, I am learning to tune my ear to not just my surroundings, but also my collaborators. It's super important, especially when working in music, to like be ready. Be ready, but also be flexible. Like that flexibility is very key. And That's something that I've been like really working on, and like I gotta get my timing right, but also keep it loose. So definitely learning a bit about how I work and function, and being excited about doing more of this, so that collaborations can continue to grow.
Yeah, I would say for me, this is actually my first opportunity to work with spoken word, and so it was all kind of brand new. All felt like a bit of an experiment, and I think it's again. I'll say again. I think it's been fantastic. So I'm excited about all of the possibilities that were present. When I first started considering this, I was wondering, how do you sort of shoehorn sound in between a prearranged, a cadence that's created by spoken word artists that they all have and carry. But I found that to be pretty comfortable. So I feel a lot of confidence coming out of this process and project that there's a lot of, the sky's the limit when it comes to this type of collaboration, which is great.